Good evening. I hope you all have had a restful day. I hope you all have had a true Sabbath day, a day that has been unusual, but a day that hopefully we were able to connect with God and connect with each other, even in a virtual space. Tonight, I wanted to close this special evening with communion. I wanted to close this day where we worshiped in the comfort of our own homes. I wanted to close it in a ritual that is the identifying marker of who we are as disciples of Christ. The center of how we worship, the center that is a symbol of who we are and whose we are. It's no coincidence that thousands of years ago, Jesus gathered with his disciples on a night that was chaotic, a night that was full of fear, a night that was unlike any others in the disciples' lives with Jesus. It was a night when Jesus knew he would be arrested, knew he was headed to the cross, and still he gathered with his disciples for one last meal. Jesus calls us to celebrate this meal every Sunday. And it's a meal that reminds us who Jesus is. It reminds us how Jesus lived. But it's also a reminder of how Jesus died and a reminder that Jesus is in fact living with us here today. It's not a coincidence that on that night Jesus took bread and after giving thanks, he broke it. This broken bread is symbolic of so much. This broken bread is a symbol of the brokenness of humanity. It's a symbol of the suffering of the world. It's a symbol that pain and hurt will indeed come into this world. It's a symbol that Jesus, in fact, himself suffered here on this world, in this world, because of how he lived. But it's also a symbol that Jesus can walk with us in our pain. Jesus can walk with us in our fear. Jesus can walk with us amidst this chaos. Because Jesus knows what it's like to have an uncertain future. Jesus knows what it's like to be filled with fear. And so Jesus broke the bread. And then after supper, he took the cup. And he said, "This is the cup of the new covenant. Through this cup, Jesus is saying, all are welcome in my kingdom. Jesus is saying, there's no in or out. Jesus is saying, his love is for everyone. God's covenant is for all of humanity. It's a radical statement that Jesus is making. And so it plays into our own lives. Think about the walls that we've created. Think about the ways we've divided our society. Think about what's going on right now with this virus. And think about everything that it's exposing, all the hatred, all the division that goes even deeper. Think about how we are digging ourselves into our ideological points of view. And remember that Christ is opening, through his love, God's kingdom to us all. This is a radical meal. This is a radical practice. This is something that is unique to us as disciples of Christ. It's a meal filled with love. And so I invited you to bring whatever symbolic elements you had. I invite you to take the bread. I'd like you to remember that this is Christ's body. And by taking it, we are uniting with Christ. We are uniting individually, and we're uniting with everyone taking part in this communion right now. So I invite you to eat this bread. Now I invite you to take the cup. Take the cup that you've prepared for yourself. Think about how we play into the divisions that are created in this world. But think about the many ways we can destroy those barriers. Think about the many ways we can be uniters. Think about the ways we can build bridges. Think about the sacrifices we need to make in order to make God's beloved community become real on this earth as it is in heaven. I invite you to drink the cup. Friends, these are uncertain times. This is an uncertain reality that we're living in right now. We have no idea what tomorrow will bring. We have no idea what tonight will bring. And so we live moment to moment, as in fact Christ called us to. How can we inject this world with the love of this meal? And so in closing, I'd like to share with you a prayer that I found online. It was it's actually a poem written by Lynn Unger. But I invite us to take it as our closing prayer, and I invite us to really take in the words. I'll post it after this meal. So please join me in prayer. What if you thought of it as the Jews consider the Sabbath, the most sacred of times? Cease from travel, cease from buying and selling. Give up, just for now, on trying to make the world different than it is. Sing, pray. Touch only those to whom you commit your life. Center down. And when your body has become still, reach out with your heart. Know that we are connected in ways that are terrifying and beautiful. You could hardly deny it now. Know that our lives are in one another's hands. Surely that has come clear. Do not reach out your hands, reach out your heart. Reach out your words. Reach out all the tendrils of compassion that move invisibly where we cannot touch. Promise this world your love, for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, so long as we all shall live. Amen. Have a blessed evening.